Let us return to discussing the crime against Sarah. How many times during the countless television interviews given by her cousin Sabrina?
A perceptive individual had discerned that there was some irregularity or anomaly in the situation at hand.
Perhaps it was that the exact nature of the thing was not fully comprehended, but there was something peculiar about it, for even the body language held considerable significance. We attempted to inquire with the aid of Alberto Duval, an expert in the field, but there was nothing more that could be deduced or surmised from Sabrina's gestures and utterances during her televised interview.
We asked psychologist Dr. Antonio Luce, an expert in the language of deception, about this excerpt from an Ilaria Cavo interview on Matrix.com.
No, I cannot bear such a heavy burden any longer.
Raise your left shoulder and say, I wouldn't be able to carry such a heavy weight. What does that mean?
The signal of the man's plaque deception is precisely this. The symmetric shoulder shrug is a gesture used when someone is lying. Therefore, she raises her shoulder on the complicity and the fact that she could not bear such a great weight.
According to the email, in this excerpt, Sabrina states her father never abused them.
Here's another question I wanted to ask. Indeed, there have been certain occasions where he may have been unable to refrain from taking advantage of us, despite the fact that he perhaps should not have done so. The typical feeling when one takes a shower, I mean, going around with a bathrobe on. No,
nothing in this case. We find the protagonist touching her hair and the back of her neck in this way when the abuse is discussed. Clearly, something has happened and she is either lying or covering up certain things in this other interview with Sabrina Francesca Pazzi on TD5. I have an important question to ask.
I have never doubted. I have always thought it was someone from the outside.
In this case, according to Polakman, the reinforcing never say never represents a state of anxiety. And so I tried to convince my interlocutor by reinforcing these words.
These are classic lie signs, but many are wondering,
why don't you experts disclose these details earlier in the investigation? We cannot assert anything, because if I had said that Michelle committed the crime, I would have been reported.